Shalom. First and foremost, call Loyal La, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And I quickly quote Habakkuk 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And if you're paying attention to the conflict that's going on between Russia and NATO over Ukraine, you can see that it's only further escalating. Now, we know that they've been moving troops, along the borders of Ukraine in case, NATO try to make their move. We know that the West, sent thousands of troops over to Europe. And so, it's looking like a showdown can happen, but they're still in the process of trying to get to the bottom of things. And at the last meeting, Putin, he made a very interesting statement. Now, we all know, according to biblical prophecy, that the Lord's going to raise up the Medes, which are the modern Russians, and he's going to stir them up and use them as an instrument to destroy Babylon. And the only way that could be done is through those instruments of death that the Lord have ordained, that being intercontinental ballistic missiles. And in this statement that you're going to hear Putin make, he alludes to taking it there. All right. And basically it's in response to if NATO ends up admitting Ukraine into their alliance, if they end up joining NATO and they in turn attack Crimea and basically take Crimea back from the occupation of Russia, that's going to be taken as a direct attack on Russia. So that's basically war. And if they got to fight all of NATO, a nuclear war is pretty much on the table. Basically, all bets are off. He's basically saying, fuck around if you want. All right, so it's getting interesting, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this clip, and this is from WION News, and I believe this is an Indian news outlet. So let's go into it.
Wars are not just fought by two armies or two peoples. Wars are fought by two economies. And that's why historians talk about war machines. You need guns, missiles, fighter jets, warships. And all of this costs money. Vladimir Putin says that he's ready for anything. He's even talking about Russia's big nuclear arsenal. If war breaks out, Putin will not shy away from firing his nukes. That's what he says.
Of course, NATO's armament potential and Russia's are not comparable, and we understand that. But we also understand that Russia is one of the leading nuclear powers and ahead of many countries in its modernity. There will be no winners.
Those are ominous words from the Russian president. Maybe he does have the appetite for war.
He pretty much said there is no winners. Basically, if it comes down to it and we really got to go there, nobody's winning. Because basically they're willing to go all the way out. They're willing to go all the way. Nobody wins in that. And they're talking about, well, do Russia even has the economy to be able to go to war? This caliber of war, do they have what it takes economically to deal with that? Well, I don't think that has any relevance once them arrows get to flying. Once them ICBMs get to letting off, that's not going to matter. All right. It's going to be a straight up catastrophic event. And it even tells you in Isaiah the 13th chapter that the Medes will not regard money. It's not going to even matter. Let me real quick Then I'll open up the tab and get the blue letter up. Yeah, bear with me while I bring this up. Took long enough. So let's go over to Isaiah 13, 13th chapter. It wasn't acting like this before. That's how I know the Prince of the Air trying to stop the flow of this lesson. Let's go to Isaiah 13. Now, mind you, everything is based on the will of the Heavenly Father. All right, everything's gonna go according to the Most High's plan. These nations are not doing everything by their own will. All right. Matter of fact, let me get that too. We know the Heavenly Father prophesied that there would be war. There would be 3 world woes. 2 woes have passed, and the third one is coming quickly. And this particular woe is going to be pretty deadly. Let's go to Sirach 18 and verse 1. It says, "He that liveth forever hath created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand. And all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane." Showing you that the Heavenly Father is in total control. Or even the minds of the kings or leaders of these nations, he's in control. Let's get that in Proverbs. And go to Proverbs chapter 21. It is Proverbs 21, verse 1. It says, "The king's heart or mind is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." All right, and something is going to be done. The Lord's going to put the spirit in Putin and the prime ministers and these different leaders of this particular alliance. All right, the Russia, uh, China, all those that are allied with them. They're going to think that evil thought. All right, they're gonna do the unthinkable, and they're going to think that evil thought. The Lord's going to put that thought into their minds. And it tells you that in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. All right, because Russia is stated to be a guard over, Libya, Persia, Kush, all right, Sudan, Ethiopia, those Islamic countries over there, Turkey, which is part of the NATO alliance. And it talks about how that, they would all be coming with, assembly of nations, a company that are assembled, coming with their bands, their armor, their bucklers, their shields, handling swords, meaning they all the military equipment that they spent these years manufacturing and building up their military power. But it tells you when you further read down in Ezekiel the 38th chapter that it's pretty much something's going to come to mind. All right, that all things are going to come into their mind, and they're going to think an evil thought. So the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to do it. But you already see that Putin is actually hinting at using them nukes. All right. So the Lord is, putting that thought into Putin's mind to make that statement that if it goes there and y'all take uh Ukraine into NATO and then y'all attack Crimea, which y'all know that Russia years ago annexed Crimea, that's a direct war against Russia. And if they got to fight NATO, they're going to resort to their nuclear capabilities. That's basically what he's saying. All right. So it does not matter if their economy, doesn't, hold up for that caliber of a war. All right. So let's go to Isaiah 13 real quick. Isaiah 13 and 17, it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall now regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." All right, they're not going to care about that. As far as they're concerned, to save the existence of their country, they're going to go all out, and there's going to be casualties on both ends. They call it mutual assured destruction, because the arrows going to be flying both directions. It says, "Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces," and you're going to get disintegrated by those bows, those arrows. That's them nukes. "And they shall have no pity upon the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children." Okay, no pity, no compassion. So I let you know that the Heavenly Father is going to have to put that thought into them to make that happen, because this is all part of the will and purpose of the Most High to destroy and lay Babylon desolate. All right, and this is going to be the aftermath. It says, "In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of Chaldea's excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah." All right, and we know that that didn't happen to ancient Babylon. Once ancient Babylon, or the Neo-Babylonian Empire, was taken down, it became a jurisdiction under the Medo-Persians. That's all that happened. It was just a translation of the kingdom from one empire to the next. And yeah, I'm pretty sure there was damages there, but it definitely was occupied since. This Babylon is saying that it's not going to be inhabited ever again, just like Sodom and Gomorrah to this day isn't inhabited. So this war is going to get that serious to where America is going to get totally decimated. After being on top, after being the top superpower of the earth, the whore that rides the beast, NATO, that destroyed whole cities, towns, and turned them into deserts. All right. And then, once that happened, it tells you that in Jeremiah 51, how have the whole armor, it's like how have the hammer of the earth been broken down. Jeremiah 51 and 25. Salaki, I think it's 50. Let me go to 50. Jeremiah 50 and 23, it says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" You see? Because this is how did Babylon earn that title of being the hammer of the whole earth? Well, look what it did to Yugoslavia 99. Look at what it did to uh, uh, Iraq in 2000. Was that 3? Look what it did to Libya in 2011. All right, and that same beast system that the whore rides, America rides, um, declares Russia as an enemy, as an adversary. So, of course, if NATO is talking about we finna capture and take land that's right right next door to you or right in your front yard, we're going to take your front yard, and you call me an enemy, what you think they're going to take that as? So that's why they're not playing about Ukraine right now. Okay? And this is happening right after, I believe, Jinping, the president of China, the leader of China, and also Putin, they came to some agreement or alliance that, if NATO or somebody was to attack, that they would basically help defend each other in war. So you got the alliances coming together. You got them doing all type of joint drills with their navies, with their military forces. So basically, the Lord is setting it all up, man. The Lord is playing chess in the theaters of war. All right, Joel 3, verse 9. And it says, proclaim you this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, till they cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. That means the Most High's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So he's causing all these armies to, slowly but surely make their way over there to the hotbed, over these political, economic reasons. Because everybody's on the verge or on a quest for the next seat in rulership, power. But the Lord is setting all these nations up because he's going to line them up to plead with them for his people. The true children of Israel, which are scattered amongst the nations, and predominantly mainly here in Babylon, America. All right. So this is getting real good, man. All right, and they're talking about, will Russia's economy sustain a war? It doesn't matter. Once those arrows get to flying, that's it, man. None of that is going to matter. All right. And he said what he said. We got them nuclear capabilities, man. So, it's only getting started, because like the Lord said, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. But seeing then, that the end is not immediate. Basically don't panic, don't be terrified, for the end is not yet. And we know there's more things that's gonna happen. There's more things that's gonna escalate. Are you seeing, the Israelis back in the news, Iran back in the news, Syria? So that's gonna start heating back up. And then you see what's happening over here in Babylon. A lot of diversion is happening because they know full well that Biden is doing a horrible, horrible job. Horrible. And now they about to, bring out the PSYOP after PSYOP, Hegelian dialectic method. Keep the masses distracted, diverted. Some things are getting ready to happen, man. They finna make everybody in America with their own belief a terrorist. So this devil know that his time is clicking, is short. But you can't outsmart the Most High. This is all according to his plan. This is all according to his purpose. So anyway, I just want to do a little slight response to this news segment here, and I hope y'all heard what Putin just said. So matter of fact, let me run that back again, and y'all can hear it.
Says.
Of course, NATO's armament potential and Russia's are not comparable, and we understand that. But we also understand that Russia is one of the leading nuclear powers and ahead of many countries in its modernity. There will be no winners.
Россия одна из ведущих ядерных держав.
Those are ominous words.
He said there will be no winners. All right. They waiting to use that. And that's the Heavenly Father, raising them up, man. But of course, they're not going to get the win just like Babylon ain't going to get the win. You know who's going to get that win? Yashar Allah, the elect of Yashar Allah. All right. And that's going to be through Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai coming back to redeem the elect of Yashar Allah. And he's going to judge and make war with these nations. He's going to destroy them. He's going to beat them to powder in his presence. 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, Revelation 17 and was it 14? Revelation 19, 11 on down. Isaiah 34 and 1 down to shit, you can damn near read that whole chapter. It's already written how it's gonna go. So I'm gonna end off with that. Lord willing, this was edified. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. Until the next lesson, Shalom.